What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my recap for UFC Vegas 107. Going to be recapping this card from top to bottom. And yeah, so like I said on my prediction video earlier in the week, I'm going to start doing some more content. Going to be doing some live fight companions in the very near future. Going to be getting out some more short form content as well. And I thought, how about some recaps? And I don't want to come on here and just recap the card. I want to make it fun, make it lighthearted, and I thought tonight is a card to just do exactly that. UFC Vegas 107. There's been some bad cards. There's been some bad cards, but I think this card potentially could take the cake for one of the worst, if not the worst card in UFC history. But we'll talk about it. But yeah, guys, like the video, subscribe. And be on the lookout for more content. Going live tomorrow with Uncle Weezy for Stat Diggers for UFC 316. But we're going to break down what happened. What the hell happened? What the hell happened at UFC Vegas 107? So we won't even touch on all the cancellations. We'll touch on one cancellation. We won't even touch about the cancellations and the switches throughout this card is just a mess. But we kicked off the night with the fight of the night. If you would have told me Alice Ardaline going against Rayon Santos was the fight of the night, I would have probably called you crazy. But no, they got fight of the night and well deserved. That was an incredible fight. I had Dos Santos as the pick. I thought she would, for once in her entire life, just maybe fight smart, try to get the fight down to the ground. But to her credit, she did attempt 6 takedowns, which I did like to see. But gosh, did not set up her shots well. Just terrible, horrible excuses for takedown attempts. She did get a takedown in the third round, but she kind of rushed it, ended up on bottom, and then Elise was able to get up to the feet. And yeah, on the feet, Elise looked good. Alice looked good, and she looked great on the feet. They went out there and they put on a great show. I mean, the first fight of the night was the best fight on the card. They went out there, they swung dicks, and I think they had it Alice 30-27. And then 29-28 on 2 scorecards there. So shout out to Alice Ardaline. She was a plus 245 underdog there. And Rayon Dos Santos probably getting her walking papers. She lost on the Contender Series. And I think she's now 0-3 in the UFC, Rayon Dos Santos. So yeah, she's on a 4-fight skid. Contender Series lost to Denise Gomes, lost to Talita Alencar, lost to Puja. I mean, if you're losing to Puja Tamar and Alice Ardaline, something's wrong. Rayon Dos Santos is going back to Invicta. So yeah, shout out to Alice Ardaline, fight of the night. Both these ladies get 50K. Shout out to them. Next up, we had Balaji Oki going against Michael Aswell. And shout out to Michael Aswell. Aswell took this fight, I think it was like Wednesday night. And it was bittersweet for me because I'm a big fan of Michael Aswell. I think this guy has legit upside in the featherweight division. And he took the fight, and it's like, it's probably not the best idea to take a fight on fight week, up a weight class against a guy like Balaji Oki. And Aswell definitely held his own in that fight. I mean, I believe he won the first round on all 3 of the judges' scorecards with that big shot towards the end. But Oki did a very good job in that second and third round and just pressuring Aswell, mixing it up to the body. And I think Oki I think both guys looked really good, and I think both guys have some serious upside. Oki in the lightweight division, I think, has some solid upside. He has really good striking, really good power, can mix in the takedowns as well. Didn't really go to that wrestling tonight, and then I think Michael Aswell, this dude's just a dog, man. This dude took a fight on short notice, did very well at that. He was a big underdog. He was plus 425. Like Oki closed like minus 600. So yeah, I think both guys, in my eyes, their stock rose, and that was another pretty good fight on these prelims. Next up, we got Jordan Levitt going against Kurt Hollabaugh, and I picked Jordan Levitt to win. I said it all week. Kurt Hollabaugh has a huge gaping hole in his game, and I thought Jordan Levitt would penetrate that gaping hole, and penetrate he did. He took down Kurt Hollabaugh within the first 15 seconds, got into a scramble, and then locked up a anaconda choke. There's not much to talk about. Shout out to Jordan Levitt. Was very emotional after the win. He's been out for a while, and he said he would not be twerking anymore, but what he did instead was the worm. Did a very nice worm. So shout out to Jordan Levitt getting it done. I thought he would potentially win by decision, but no, he went out there and subbed Kurt Holloway in the first round, which finishing Kurt Holloway is no easy task by any means. Kurt Holloway, 30 fights, now 31 fights, but I think, in those first 30 fights, he's only been finished like once or twice. So shout out to Jordan Levitt, incredible win and a great submission there. Next fight, we had Alan Nascimento going against Jafel Filio. And this was a fun little fight here. This was a fight that played out exactly how I thought it would play out. I thought this was a fight that was going to take place in the grappling. And I really thought that Jafel Filio could have potentially won the fight had he, made, a little less mistakes. I mean, he did fine in the grappling early on, but he did lose position. I believe in that second round, lost position, ended up on bottom, and that's kind of what cost him the fight. Once he ended up on bottom, that was pretty much the round. He was kind of content to play off his back. And Nascimento did a very good job with the top pressure, very heavy on top. Didn't really threaten with much. The most threatening submission was actually from Filio in that first round with that mounted guillotine. But, Nascimento was on a 2.5-year layoff. And I don't know what it is with these shoot-to-box Diego Lima guys. I don't think layoffs matter to them because Nascimento was on like a 2.5-year layoff. We had Daniel Willycat Santos on like a 2-year layoff, looked incredible in his last fight. So I don't think the layoff mattered too much here, and Nascimento was able to get it done. I thought he might be able to maybe finish Filio later down in that third round. Once Filio really started to slow down, didn't really get much opportunities. I think officially they counted Nascimento with one submission attempt in the third round, but I don't really think it was that close. But yeah, 29-28, very easy fight to score. And a good win from Nascimento coming back off of a little bit of a layoff there. Next up, oh my God, this is where it gets bad. Up until this fight, it's like the prelims were okay. We had the Artelene fight of the night. That's great. We had the Oki fight. Oki Aswell was a good fight. It was a good fight. Levitt submits Holloway. That's great. Nascimento Filio, if you like grappling, you like that fight. I liked the fight. Up until then, the card was okay. It was fine. 3 decisions, first round submission, and I had high hopes. I had high hopes going to this fight. I actually picked Dusko Todorovich. To win a fight, which, I've always been a big Dusko hater. I've never been a fan of, the strike and defense, the hands down style. The guy just gets knocked out left and right. But I picked him to win, and my goodness, he almost won. He almost won the fight. The first round was kind of weird where Dusko was going for a guillotine for 3 minutes. It was kind of annoying. Instead of going for some top position, maybe getting some ground and pound, which that's his best that ground and pound is his best attribute there. Would have liked to see Dusko get on top and get that ground and pound going, and he did with a minute left in the first round, and Dusko wins the first round. And then it's like Dusko looks tired. Dusko looks very tired at the end of the first round, early second. Just looks very sluggish in there. Does absolutely nothing in the second round. It's just a very bad look in that second round. And then the third round, he actually starts, doing something. The third round is pretty competitive. I think Zachary landed more. Zachary landed 27 to Dusko's 17 significant strikes. But, Dusko probably had the biggest moment in that third round, I thought, when he split Zachary Reese's face open. And Zachary Reese had a pretty nasty cut. So I'm fine with, I believe all three judges. Yeah, all three judges unanimous, 29-28 for Reese. I'm fine with that scorecard. But, I could also see a scenario where they're like, okay, nobody did anything this entire fight. This fight sucked. Zach Reese is busted open. Maybe Dusko won based off of damage. Maybe that was the case. But yeah, 29-28, Zach Reese. Horrible fight. Nobody did anything. I don't know if Dusko all of a sudden has a chin or if Reese is just not as good as we thought he was. So yeah, Reese wins the fight barely as a minus 230 favorite. And Dusko Todorovich is 1,000% going to get cut. I mean, it's been a brutal stretch for Dusko Todorovich. 1-4 in his last 5 fights. He's like 2-7 in his last 9 fights. Dusko Todorovich, you're getting cut after that performance. I mean, that's just a bad performance from both guys there. It was very bad. Up next, we had Kelan Vieira versus Macy Chaison, and this one's frustrating. So you see the odds are minus 110. I had these odds up earlier in the week, money just completely came in on Maycee Chaison throughout the week. And it was a big move. By the time the fight kicked off, Maycee Chaison was like minus 170. And a lot of that had to do with Kelan Vieira. Apparently, she had to go to the hospital for something. I'm still not sure why Kelan Vieira went to the hospital, but she went to the hospital and the fight got moved up to featherweight, and it was because of her. It was on her end. So fight continues, fight stays on, and money keeps pouring in on Maycee Chaison. And I picked Vieira. With not a ton of confidence, to be honest. But I saw Vieira sitting there at like plus 145, and I didn't bet it just because the whole going to the hospital thing really freaked me out. It really freaked. Like, is she injured? Is she sick? I don't know. So I wanted nothing to do with this fight. Kelan Vieira looked really good. Maycee Chaison looked very bad. It was a pretty one-sided fight. Kelan Vieira had 10 minutes of control time, and that's kind of what I thought would dictate the fight. Whoever's able to get on top, whoever's able to get top control is going to win the fight. And I thought that, hey, Kelan Vieira has elite takedown defense. I think it's some of the best takedown defense in the bantamweight division. It was over 90% before she fought Kayla Harrison, and even Kayla Harrison was struggling to take down Vieira, was like 3 for 8. So I thought, Kelan Vieira is the more likely fighter to get on top, and that was exactly the case. So kind of a missed opportunity for me. I liked Kelan Vieira, but the whole hospital thing, it just really, really sketched me out. Maycee Chaison loses, but it's not all bad for Chaison. She has a great singing career. I think she'll be great. She's a great singer, has a lot of hits. Maycee Chaison will be all right. All right, next. Oh, God. We don't have this fight. Andreas Gustafsson knocked out Officer Trevin Giles on weigh-in day. First ever. He knocked him out. The scale knocked out Officer Trevin Giles. All serious. Hopefully Officer Giles is all right. Apparently had like a weight cut issue, or I'm not sure if he got hurt or something happened with the weight cut for Giles, which, he's taking the fight on short notice. It was a catchweight, but, short notice nonetheless. So hopefully Officer Trevin Giles is all right. I really wanted to see that Gustafsson fight, but we'll be seeing Gustafsson versus Chaos Williams next week for UFC 316. So we do not get to see this fight. I really like Gustafsson. We'll call it a Gustafsson win because the scale finished Trevin Giles, and there was an officer down, just not kind of how I expected it to play out. Here we go. Okay, so up until this point, the Vieira fight, I almost fell asleep during the Vieira fight, to be honest. The card needed a little something. The card needed something. The card was dying. It was dying. And shout out to Dustin Jacobe. He went out there and he gave the card life. The card needed some life, and he gave it life. He stuns Lopez with a jab, hurts Lopez with a jab, and then just pours it on. He did do a little bit too much clinching for my liking. I had the under there. I was like, dude, just finish him. Why are you clinching up? Lopez is like dying. Just finish him. And then, so he clinched him up, and he was landing some nice shots in the clinch, some nice uppercuts that hurt Lopez, and then broke away finally, and then just started swinging, and then knocked out Lopez pretty brutally. So great performance for Dustin Jacobe. How about Dustin Jacobe, 37 years old, still getting it done. Just came off that win against Vitor Petrino as a big underdog in the third round. Dustin Jacobe's looking good. I can't wait to see who he fights next. Bruno Lopez, he'll definitely be back. I'm not the biggest fan of the guy, but not his night. But it was Jacobe's night. Shout out Jacobe, got it done. He was like minus 185. And one thing that I am kind of upset about is they gave the fight of the night, right, which was Asael Artelin, Reyan dos Santos. They give the performance bonuses, and they don't give Dustin Jacobe a performance bonus. Like, what? What else does this guy need to do? What else does he need? What else does Jacobe need to do to Lopez to get a performance bonus? Stick his finger in his ass? Like, what else did Jacobe possibly need to do? I mean, that was performance worthy, absolutely, on a card like this. So I don't get that. But Jacobe, no $50K bonus for him, I suppose. Weird, but it is what it is. Oh my God. Next up, Billy Ray Goff going against Rameses Brahimaj. and Billy Goff was one of the biggest favorites on the card. And it's like, if you're Goff, Rameses Brahimaj has 11 wins, now 12, 11 wins, 10 of them in the first round, 10 of them by submission. Billy Goff, why are you engaging in the grappling with Rameses Brahimaj? And I was like half watching, because I was like doing something during the first round. I was doing something around the house, but from what I could see, I saw that Rameses at one point took the back of Goff. Goff was able to get out of that position. And then I look up and it's like Billy Goff has Rameses against the cage. And I'm pretty sure he was like going for takedown. Like he was trying to take down Rameses. And it's just puzzling. It's absolutely puzzling, baffling fight IQ from Billy Ray Goff. I mean, Rameses is good at one thing. Grappling in the first round. I mean, 10 first round submission wins, and you're engaging in his one lone win condition. I just don't understand it, Billy Goff. I really just don't understand it. Get the fight to the second round, get the fight at range, and you win fairly easily, but Rameses got it done. Shout out to Rameses Brahimaj. You know, I kind of thought this guy was on his way out, you know. Lost to Max Griffin, lost to Court McGee, lost to Themba Garimbo. You know, his wins were over Sasha Palatnikov, Michael Gilmore, Mickey Gall. These are awful wins. So, yeah, I counted out Rameses, absolutely. A lot of people did. I mean, Billy Ray Goff was a big favorite, but Rameses went out there. He got the job done and got a first-round submission win. So, shout out to Rameses. But Billy Ray Goff, what the hell, dude? What the hell? Horrible display. Horrible display of fight IQ. Up next, main event. This was the main event. We didn't know it, but this was the main event. I liked Gameamrot a lot here. You know, Ludovic Klein is a guy that I was high on coming into the UFC, but you know his losses to Landwehr and Trezano kind of lost a lot of faith with Klein. The draw with Jai Herbert, and it was a levels fight. It was your classic levels fight where Gameamrot, ever since he came into the UFC, has been fighting at a very high level. His last 5-6 fights at a very, very high level. And it's a fight where Klein was just not ready yet. Klein did do some things well. Landed a nice little shot in the first round to look to stun Gameamrot. But it was clear as day that, you know, Gameamrot was just too much for him. He was just on another level, was able to take him down. And Klein had a really good takedown defense rating coming in. I think it was 95%. And now it's 91%. So it didn't go down as much as I thought. Gameamrot was 6-4-11 on takedowns. So yeah, Klein will definitely be back. He's only 30 years old. Gameamrot, he's going to beat guys like this. And whenever he takes steps down, he's going to beat guys like this. So I picked Gameamrot. I didn't bet him. I was kind of hoping the line would come down a little bit. Probably should have just pulled the trigger at like minus 150. But a lot of people were on Klein this week. A lot of people don't like Gameamrot. A lot of people don't like Mateusz Gameamrot. I saw some people saying that they should cut him after his win. I don't know. I think a couple people should be cut on this card, but probably not Gameamrot. But yeah, Gameamrot gets the job done by decision. And then the main event. Erin Blanchfield versus Maycee Barber. They do the promo. I'm excited for the fight. I'm excited to see Blanchfield Barber. They do the promo. And then they cut to the announcers, and they're like, Maycee Barber is not ready to walk out. And in all my years of watching the sport, I've never heard a fighter is not ready to walk out. They're gonna wait and see if she's ready in a second. So they cut to commercial, they come back, and they say the fight's canceled. So yeah, hopefully Macy's all right. Apparently, she had, they said she had a seizure, which is not great. So hopefully she's okay. But Macy was talking mad shit all week. I mean, I tweeted it. I said, I've never seen a fighter talk so much shit throughout the week. I mean, every time I logged on to Twitter this week, it was a new quote from Maycee Barber just talking crap. And even after she missed weight, she was talking crap to Erin Blanchfield. It was like, I don't get it. But apparently Blanchfield said she is not down to fight Maycee Barber, and I don't blame her. So we lose the main event. This card's a mess. This card was a mess from the beginning. You know, losing fights, cancellations. You know, switching the opponents. I mean, I swear I researched like 16 fights for this card, and we ended only up having like 1 or 9 fights for this card. So it was an absolute mess, in my opinion. One of the worst cards of all time. If Rayon Santos, Alice Ardeline is the fight of the night, we know there's a serious problem. So I hope next week's going to be better. Next week we have UFC 316. It will definitely be better. This week was just an absolute tragedy. I mean, this card tonight gave me chlamydia. I'm going to have to go get it checked out. I never knew it was possible for a card to give you a sexually transmitted disease, but I'm almost certain this card gave me chlamydia. So that's how I'm feeling about this. Chlamydia. Anyway, guys, we'll be back breaking down UFC 316 tomorrow on Stat Diggers. My full card breakdown for UFC 316 will be out on Monday. Got most of the fights taped. They did add like a random fight that'll be out soon. Medeiros versus some dude. I don't know. I'll have to research that. But other than that, got most of the fights taped. If you guys enjoyed the recap, if you guys enjoyed the content, let me know. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the fights tonight. Did you like the fights? What fights did you like? Let me know. Let me know your guys' thoughts. But anyway, guys, talk to you guys soon and see you later.